Lester Manson is a senior fellow at the National Security Institute and is also the principal in the international practice at BGR Group. Lester is joining us live from Washington, D.C. Lester, thanks for making time for us.
Thanks for having me.
Talk to us about U.S. officials making frequent visits to West Asia. What makes Austin's tour different from Blinken's?
Well, I don't think it's that different from Secretary Antony Blinken's work in the region. The Biden administration is engaged in a full-on effort to talk to all of the parties, at least all of those who are willing to talk to the United States, as a way to provide kind of the context in which Israel can achieve its goals in Gaza at a minimum cost to civilian populations, and while at the same time enhancing humanitarian access. This is, of course, a very difficult thing to do. You called it a dark road for Gaza. I think that's accurate. Hamas remains a threat to Israel, and Israel is going to have to eliminate that threat here. The sooner that happens, the better, of course. But I think the Biden administration is working very hard to provide the space for Israel to do what it needs, while at the same time talking to all of the interested parties in the region, all of the stakeholders, the folks who are going to have political implications in their countries for what is happening in Gaza. This is a very difficult situation diplomatically, for sure. And so President Biden is using all of his assets. That includes Secretary Austin, Secretary Blinken. Also, the director of the CIA, Bill Burns, has made some trips. So this is a full-on effort by the Biden administration to do the best that it can under these very difficult circumstances. Well,
Lester, the U.S. is now more concerned about the welfare of Gazans, but is short of stopping the war or the onslaught in Gaza. Why is it important for Israel to transition to a more limited focus conflict? And do you think Israel will listen?
Oh, I think Israel is absolutely listening, and I think the channel between the unity government in Israel and the Biden administration is actually very good, and they are working in concert as much as possible. Of course, Prime Minister Netanyahu has had to reach out to his political opponents to form this unity government. So it's really more than just Netanyahu on the Israeli side that is making decisions here. The Biden administration has been working very closely with them. The U.S. has always been concerned about the humanitarian plight of Palestinians. The U.S. has often been the largest donor to the various humanitarian entities that are providing assistance in Gaza and the West Bank. Some of those, of course, have become problematic as it's been revealed that Hamas has exploited some of those for its terrorist purposes. But the U.S. has a long history as an honest broker in the region, and the Biden administration, I think, is following through on that very long tradition.
Lester, finally, and please make it brief, what will make Israel move on from the October 7th attack? It's been 3 months now. All the officials make a point of reminding everyone about that tragic incident. But the horrors in Gaza are now gripping the world's eyes, and still the officials accuse Hamas of causing disruptions, using civilians as shields. How long will this revenge mission last?
I don't view it as a revenge mission. I view it as Israel eliminating the threat from Hamas, and frankly, the operation will go on as long as necessary for Israel to eliminate the threat from Hamas. Israel simply cannot allow another attack like what we saw 2 months ago to happen again. So they need to eliminate that threat, and when that is achieved, then I think we will see the next, presumably better situation obtain in Gaza.
All right, I've been talking to a senior fellow at the National Security Institute and is also the principal in the international practice at BGR Group. Lester Manson, thank you very much for talking to us today.
Thank you.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.